Draft week is here, so let's make some predictions, shall we? The Lions have 2 picks in the first round, pick 6 and pick 18. What will they do? I have seen way too many mock drafts to the point where my eyes basically are bleeding. It's terrible, but here we are in the week of. So let's just lay it all out, let you know where I think the Lions are at. It's pretty interesting because Brad Holmes' first year, Penei Sewell was a lock. If Cincy let him slide, I was like, Penei Sewell, no doubt. Told you that's, I think we all knew. Then we went into year 2, and it was, if the Jags let Hutch slide, Hutch is no doubt. But here we are. The JMO pick was interesting because it really showed us that Brad Holmes is not afraid to go get his man. If he's on the board, if the guy that he wants is on the board, he'll do what he can to go get him. And I loved that. I loved seeing the aggression. Like, we have seen both his poise and his aggression in the draft. I love it. So with that being said, rolling into this year, the Lions have 9 picks. We're not going to use them all. We're definitely going to package some up in order to move. So the question becomes, if the Lions are at 6 and 18, will we package to move up, try to slip up to 3-ish, or will the Lions actually move down from 6, allow somebody else in to get that QB that they might be looking for ahead of the Raiders, just saying, and the Lions move down? With all this being said, my official prediction for the Detroit Lions heading into the 2023 draft is as follows. Looking at this year's draft, I do not think that the Lions slide up from 6 in order to get Will Anderson. I've seen some people say it. I just think you're going to be you will get rid of your number 18 pick if you do that. I don't think another team is going to allow us. I don't think the Cardinals are going to allow us to swoop in and get Will Anderson without giving up our 18th pick. So unless Will Anderson is Brad Holmes' guy, I don't see that happening. I know you're going to hate it, but it is what it is. The Lions at number 6 are taking Jalen Carter. The need that the Lions have for an interior defensive lineman is dire. It's huge. It's apparent. It has been staring us all in the face. And I know the amount of fears or the anxieties kind of going into this. When you look at Jalen Carter, when you look at his talent, when you look at what he's capable of on the field, the kid is, he to me is the most talented draft pick this entire draft. The Lions could not stop the run last year. We were ranked 3rd to last in yards per allowed against the run. I think it was 5.2 yards per carry. Terrible. And yeah, the Lions were able to figure out a pattern. The last 10 games, we go 8-2. It was glorious. But oh my God, we could not stop the run. You bring in Jalen Carter to stop gap the run. The interior defensive line boosts. He is a playmaker from day one through the roof. Lions are an actual Super Bowl contender. I really think that. First of all, I think we are a playoff contender this year. Like, we can go deep, but we have to stop the run. And at the moment, Alim McNeill is a stud. He's going into year 3, hyped on the development, hyped on where he's going. Isaiah Buggs, Brad Holmes said it in a presser just the other week. He was never meant to take the amount of reps that he is taking. And if that is the case, the Lions are looking to bring in an interior defensive lineman, whether it's 6 or 18. And if Jalen Carter is available, if Seattle lets him go, he's our man. I'm sorry. I know the amount of people that want Will Anderson. I know the amount of people that don't want Jalen because of the character issue concerns. I have no doubt that Dan Campbell can get it under control. And for anybody who right now is going to be like, oh, well, what about JMO? What about JMO? The betting situation pisses me off. But also the NFL's rules about the imaginary line pisses me off. Should he have waited to place his bet? Yeah, obviously. But alas, I'm not talking about JMO. I'm talking about Jalen Carter, an absolute playmaker and a stud. And within 3 weeks of the actual season, everybody would forget about it and say, thank God we got him. Just my prediction, just my thought. Sorry to piss you off. At this point, with Jalen Carter at the 6th pick, going into pick 18, I do not see the Lions moving up in order to get somebody else. I think the Lions stay put at 18. And with that pick, the Lions select Quentin Johnson, wide receiver at a TCU. Now, where you might look and say, what? The recent JMO news has caused quite the stir, quite an issue. JMO will be suspended for 6 games. The Lions need help at the wide receiver position. They just do. And you might look and be like, well, hey, the Lions offense was top tier under Ben Johnson without JMO for 12 games, 13 games last year. Where you would be right. You are. We also have lost DJ Chark. We also are in desperate need of some help to get this thing moving for the first 6 games, plus long haul. I think the Lions were looking at a wide receiver in the 2nd round anyways, so why not, with your 18th pick, get the best you can get? I mean, JSN's gone by this point, and then from there, I think Quentin Johnson's your next best bet for the Lions. He's 6'4". I mean, the guy's yards after catch are incredible. Like, why not? Why not make the move to get this receiver to plug and play early? Because then when JMO does come back, your wide receiver core is just that much better. You know, I cannot see a scenario in which the Lions go double offense with 6 and 18. People are calling for the Lions to trade with Arizona in order to get Will Anderson. I do not see that happening. You're going to have to give up pick 18 and probably more in order to do so. So with all this being said, it's all speculation, and we're going to know in three days at this point. And when it happens, it happens. I honestly do not care what Brad Holmes does unless we drafted a kicker at 6, Jake Moody. I'd be pissed. I trust Brad Holmes. I trust the decision-making. If he wants to trade up from 6, get to 3, get Will Anderson. Hey, Will Anderson, Aiden Hutchinson, that's scary. Scary combo. If he wants to stick with Jalen Carter at 6 because he's available and we want to stop the run, I'm all for it. If the Lions trade back from 6 to allow somebody else to swoop in and get a QB, what I'm trying to say here is I am not the GM. Thank God for that. I don't care to be. I love Brad Holmes. I love his decision-making. I love the poise. I love the aggression. Where I see the Lions going, if everything falls accordingly, I see us taking Jalen Carter at 6. I see us taking Quentin Johnson, wide receiver, or best available wide receiver at 18. That's where I'm laying my chips. But in the end, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all going to unfold this Thursday live on my channel, 7:30 p.m. Me and the boys playing some games, hanging out, throwing back some drinks. It's going to be a good time. So you should join us, join the chat. And yeah, 7:30 on Let's Talk Lions. We'll watch the draft together, see what the Lions do. Do they get Will Anderson? I saw Grid, shout out to Grid, saying, I think Will Anderson and Bijan Robinson. The Bijan Robinson one is fascinating. That is an interesting move, and I understand it with the DeAndre Swift dilemma, Montgomery, but I cannot see first round. I guess I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. But I don't know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you feel. I know I pissed some of you off.